Oh, fuck the family. The family, I love the family in my house. You know what? The family fucked my husband. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, the real Tay Nicole, and I'm back with a Thanksgiving special. You heard me? With a Thanksgiving special. And don't worry, you're still getting an episode Friday. You still getting an episode Friday. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is a special edition. This is a Thanksgiving episode. So I had to come through with it for y'all. You heard me? But hey, like I said, it's a Thanksgiving episode. If you haven't guessed what it is from just that little clip you got to see in the beginning, I'm gonna go ahead, because if you notice, I ain't do the flash and all the other episodes I've already done. I ain't dropped those in there yet. And like I told y'all previously, you might randomly start seeing the episodes that I did randomly in a video. You might see little clips from the video, or you might see the pictures of the previous videos. But if y'all not tuned in with me yet, I think you will be tuned in with me pretty soon. Listen, this is episode 18. Episode 17 was Four Brothers, and episode 18 is Soul Food. You heard me? I'm jumping right into it. We ain't wasting no time this time, but we ain't wasting no time. We getting right into it at this point. You heard me? So, like I said, episode 18, Soul Food, and as you can see, I got my Thanksgiving attire on. Can you dig me? I don't know how y'all look for today. I don't know how y'all look on today for Thanksgiving, but this how I'm looking for Thanksgiving today. I got my Aldo boots on, my Gap jeans, my Gap hoodie, my Gap sweater. You heard me? I got on my nice little bling bling, my teeth in today. Got my jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking a little spiffy today. Like I said, this is a Thanksgiving episode, so I had to come dressed. I had to come looking correct for y'all. I couldn't come looking like I usually do, because usually I'm just doing these episodes on a random day, and they drop every Friday. And usually I'm just wearing sweatpants, t-shirt, and a bucket hat. But y'all know the bucket hat's my staple, so I'm keeping the bucket hat on. It's my staple. But like I said, we getting into soul food today. This the movie we rocking with today. Personally, I had to watch the movie and then take a little bit of time before I shot the episode, just because this movie, I don't care what nobody say. This movie, especially in my community, this movie can make you a little bit emotional, especially if you got a big mama in your life. You know what I'm saying? Or you had a big mama in your life. This movie definitely is very emotional and definitely touches my community. But like I said, today we're gonna get right into it. So let's start with this. Soul Food was released September 26, 1997. I was 2 years old when this movie came out. The first time I seen this movie, I believe I was 6. I was like 6, I think, when I first seen it. And then after that, I didn't watch it again until I was like 14, 15. And then I ain't seen it since then. This is another one of those movies I ain't watched in decades, or I haven't, for those who speak proper grammar. I haven't watched this movie in decades, so it's hard to watch this movie. It was once I got done, like I said, once I got done watching it, took me a minute to go ahead and shoot the episode, because I couldn't do it right off. But anyway, this movie runs for about 2 hours. And when you're watching it, it really don't even feel like it's 2 hours. That's how captivating this movie is. It doesn't make you feel like you've been watching it for 2 hours. Um, Also, for those of my community to know about the movie Soul Food, there's also a spin-off TV show called Soul Food as well, which we're not here to talk about that. I just wanted to bring that up, to let y'all know, like, in case y'all got them confused. No, this is the movie. There is a TV show. This is a spin-off from the movie, but we're talking about the actual movie today. And the characters in the TV show is completely different than the characters in the movie, and which, as y'all like to know, as y'all like to see me do, and as y'all know, I tell y'all the characters. So when you see this laptop, I'm about to get into it. So Starting off with the character listing, we have Vivica A. Fox, who plays Maxine. We have Brandon Hamden, who plays Ahmad. We have Vanessa Williams, who plays Terry Joseph. We have Nia Long, who plays Bird. We have Mekhi Phifer, who plays Lim. We have Michael Beach, who plays Miles. We have Gina Rivera, who plays Faith. We have Irma P. Hall, who plays Miss Josephine Joseph, aka Big Mama, aka Mama Joe. She's got quite a few little nicknames. And then we got Mel Jackson, who plays Samuel, or Samuel. I forgot how to pronounce his name. And it's not spelled like Samuel. It's Samuel. Whatever. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. Um, but yeah, we got him. Then we got Jeffrey D. Sams, who plays Kenny. We got Carl Wright as Reverend Williams. We got Morgan Michelle Smith as Kelly. And because I could not find an adult picture of Miss Kelly, we got the movie version picture of Miss Kelly. Or excuse me, Miss Morgan. And then we have John M. Watson Sr. as Uncle Pete. Now, I know y'all probably like, why she keep looking down? I have to make sure I'm reading it in the order I wrote, because if I don't, I just would have ran off these names so fast. Because I do know every single person that played in this movie, except for Uncle Pete and Morgan and Reverend Williams, Kelly, and Uncle Pete, and Kenny. Those four people, I wouldn't have known their names by heart, but everybody else, I knew exactly who they were and what character they played. But I wanted to make sure I stayed in order of what I wrote before, so I wouldn't jump around and forget what name I said. Also in this movie, we had musical guest appearances from Babyface, Casey, and JoJo, aka Jodeci, because the whole group was in there. But yeah, we had a little bit of a musical appearance from them, which you might have seen the clip already from their musical appearance. But let's jump right on into it. So Soul Food opens up um, at the reception for Bird and Lim's wedding. So Bird and Lim got married, which once again is Nia Long and Mekhi Phifer. Um, they got married. They're at the reception. They turn up, have a good time, whatever the case may be, and both Lim and Bird got some exes that appear at the wedding. Now, Lim's ex appears first, and he walks off disrespectfully, might I add. Ahmad walked up to pin some money on Bird and asked to dance with her, right? And Lim walks off, and he gets taken by his boys, should I say? Not walks off, but he gets taken by his boys, and his boys, they take him over there to where his ex is, and his ex over there shaking and gyrating and moving and grooving all on Lim, and Bird is distracted by Samuel, who came in, and he doing his own. He think he LL Cool J, if you will. Uh, but he comes in, and he put some money in her gown, her not gown, what you call that thing? Yeah, her gown, I guess, her wedding dress. Put some money in up here, right? And everybody looking like, what the hell is going on? They looking at Bird, they looking at Lim. Everybody at the wedding is confused, or the reception, should I say, is at the reception. They all kind of confused. So they like, what? His ex here, her ex here, like what? Anyway, so Bird gets mad and she storms off, runs to the bathroom. She runs off to the bathroom, and her sisters follow her, and then Big Mama, Mama Joe, which is their mama, Big Mama is Bird, Terry, and Maxine's mama. Okay, and then Ahmad and Kelly are Maxine's kids, Maxine and Kenny's kids. They married, and Miles and Terry are married, and I already said about Lemon Bird. Anyway, so Big Mama, she looking over there at Lim while he getting his groove on with the ex-girlfriend. They over there, getting that groove on or whatever. And Big Mama like, oh, heck no. Uh-uh. So she called Mod over there, which him and his little partners, they over there. Dang, look at that. You know what I'm saying? They know what boys do when they see something that they like. And she, she pretty much tell him, go get your auntie and tell her to get out here with her husband. So he tries to go get her, but they wasn't hearing none of that. Maxine was like, get out of here trying to be nosy. Even though Big Mama did tell him to go tell Bird to get out there. She just didn't tell him to say get your black ass out here. But she did tell him to go get Bird. Bird, you know, she all getting chastised by Terry about her ex filling her up in her dress and whatever. And she ain't really trying to hear all that. You can tell she ain't trying to hear all that. But of course, Maxine letting her know, well, why you in here with us? Some hoochies on the dance floor gyrating all over your man. She like, who man? My man? Yes, honey, your man. She go out there. That whole little debacle happens. And then this kind of made me laugh because this is something my sister definitely would do if this would have been me in the situation. She would have definitely been like, you want to go out there and go beat her up real quick? Cause we can go do that, pregnant and all. My sister would have did the same thing Maxine did. So um, fast forward to that. After the wedding, they have a Sunday dinner. Now, one thing about this movie is they depicting how most traditional black families are. Most traditional black families do have a Sunday dinner, whether it's once a month or every Sunday, or they usually have some type of family dinner. Usually, I will say that as of lately, the black culture's kind of been slipping away from that family tradition, that family unity of spending 1 week out of the month together, or not 1 week. I'm sorry, 1 day out of each week, or at least 1 day in a goddamn month. They're having or preparing for Sunday dinner. Lemon Bird have the newlywed jitterbug, and if you grown, you know what I'm talking about. And like I said, y'all, I'm not gonna tell you every little detail because you need to watch it yourself if you ain't watched it. But while they in there cooking, Bird she dips off with Lim, and it's Maxine, Terry, and Mama Joe or Big Mama in the kitchen still. And Terry and Maxine got this beef because Terry had Kenny first, okay? And Kenny really didn't want Terry. He actually wanted Maxine, but because I want to say because he felt like Maxine wasn't digging him or wouldn't like him, he went for Terry instead. And that's kind of where a rivalry happens at, is because Maxine stole Kenny from Terry, which, in my opinion, you can't steal anyone from anyone. They willingly have to go. And he willingly left her ass at that skating ring for Maxine. And it is what it is. But basically, Maxine, like, I know how to cook. You know how to be smart in these books. And then Bird, well, she Bird. So they kind of got this little sibling rivalry. And really, honestly, Maxine seems more of an older sister, a big sister than Terry does. And I'm gonna tell you why throughout the process of why I feel like Maxine's a more of a bigger sister than Terry. Terry really gives middle child vibes. She too jealous, she too possessive, she just too everything. But I'll get to that in a second. Like I said, Bird. Now here's the thing: Bird and Lim scandalous for doing the grown folks in Mama Joe house like that. They had no business being grown folks in Big Mama house like that. By the way, they could have waited, even though Terry, Maxine, and Big Mama knew what they was getting ready to go do. They ain't no stranger to it. They knew. She didn't even care. She laughed it off. She giggled. Hey, listen, couldn't have been my mama. My mama would have been like, you ain't doing that in my house. I don't care about you being married. Well, anyway, um, Big Mama did make a comment to Terry that she need to focus more on her husband than everybody else's business because Terry's already on husband number 2. And I was like, damn, you ain't had to put her business out there like that, Big Mama. But Big Mama put her business out there. Well, um, before they start serving dinner, there's a vital moment in the movie that happens with Ahmad. He's in the kitchen with the ladies and he puts a towel on the stove. And Big Mama tells him, do not put a towel on these stoves. Now, back then, gas stoves was very popular. So that's what they had, a gas stove. She's like, ooh, baby, don't put nothing like this on the stove ever in life. Don't do that. Alright. Now, they all at the table eating dinner and uh they all eating dinner and whatever. Before they start dinner, actually, you find out Big Mama has diabetes, right? You end up finding it out, but they eating dinner, and Kenny all in Lim's business, trying to figure out why Lim got arrested, why he a convicted felon, because that Lim's a convicted felon. He went to jail. He did some things. He sold some things, whatever. And Kenny all in this man business, right? Well, while they, get past that, Big Mama breaks the awkwardness by saying she had a fish dream. And if you're from the culture, when they dream about fish, that means either somebody pregnant or somebody finna get pregnant. That's usually what the fish dream mean, especially in our community. Some people say it's a myth. I don't know how much of a myth it is because everybody in my family ever said they had a fish dream. Somebody really was pregnant in our family. So just saying. Um, but they all saying black sayings, things that black folks would say, things that black folks, believe in, if you will. And Lim's trying to fit in with the family, so this fool gonna say, "Oh, I got one. Step on a crack, break your mama's back." Like, why would you say that? Everybody looked at him like, "What?" They moved past it. He was trying not to feel like an outcast, So he was trying to fit in with the family. He's trying to feel, a part of the family. But of course, because he's who he is and what he is to them, he's having a hard time, connecting. While they're having dinner, cousin Faith shows up, and can't nobody in that family besides Mama Joe, Stan, and Reverend Williams. Nobody else really cares for cousin Faith. I mean, the kids, yeah, they don't have no beef, but the grown folks, let me say it that way, the grown folks, excluding Lim, don't really care for Faith. Everybody else, well, the men, scratch that. Terry, Bird, and Maxine don't like Faith. That's their cousin from their mama side. Okay, Mama Joe's sister, that's her niece from her sister, right? And they don't care for her. They don't care for her. No, they don't care for her. Everybody else don't really have no beef with her. I'm just keep it a buck. It's really the girls that don't like her. Whatever. Well, while they all sitting there keying it up, Maxine goes into labor. They rush to the hospital. They're at the hospital while she giving birth. But during that time, Ahmad eventually he clears up why Terry and Maxine don't like each other, which I told y'all earlier, because Maxine and Kenny became a thing when Terry and Kenny was supposed to be a thing. Well, if you watch the movie, they'll tell you in depth about that, and you can actually see. You might be seeing clips, like always. You might be randomly seeing clips, but if you want full context of that scene, go watch the movie if you ain't never seen it before. And if you have seen the movie, drop drop a turkey in the comments if you've seen this movie already. That's what I want y'all to do. Drop a turkey in the comments if you've seen this movie before. If you have not seen this movie before, then put me a blue heart in the comments if you have never seen this movie before. Anyway, back to what we was talking about. So while uh while they at the hospital, Ahmad Ahmad's looking at his grandma like, what's going on? Because she's over there nodding off. She tired. You would think it's because she an older lady or whatnot, but really it was just them diabetes was getting to her. Um. So eventually, after the baby was born, you see them cut to them being at the hospital with their mama, and the doctor pretty much tell Big Mama like, we gotta take your leg off. We have to. Like there's no circulation in that leg. You're not getting any blood flow there. It's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you. And Big Mama like, nah, man, you ain't cutting on me. You ain't cutting on me. And they like, well, we got to. If we don't, we won't be able to save your life. Eventually, Big Mama decides to do the surgery, and she decided to do it because she got thinking about how she wanted to be there for her grandkids, and how she wanted to try to live a little bit longer of a life. So she agrees to do the surgery, and just as you normally would suspect, the surgery didn't go well, unfortunately, and Big Mama suffered a stroke during the procedure, right? And when there was talk about the complications, the only one who didn't rush to her room right off was Ahmad, and it's because he instantly felt like something was wrong, and it was going to remain wrong. Um, Now, while they were in there talking to the doctors, Ahmad did walk into the room and he seen his grandma's leg amputated. He heard that she suffered a stroke. He heard all kind of stuff, and it just broke his heart because he's like, "Dang, man, I might lose my grandma." Um, and instantly, if you have your grandma still with you, God bless you. Um, but a lot of folks like myself have lost their grandparents and don't have them no more. So this is another reason why this movie is really hard for me to watch because of the connection I have with my grandmother. Um, and like I said, so many other people can feel this and can relate to this. Um, if you love your grandma, drop a granny emoji in the comments for me, by the way, and put like a heart. I don't care whatever color, whatever your favorite color is. Put your grandma and a heart next to it, and if she's in heaven, put a halo or a dove next to it. Show me, let me know that you made it this far. But let's keep moving. So eventually, Lim loses his job and he goes to see Kenny about it. Lim goes to see Kenny about trying to help getting a job because he's struggling with finding a job. He's a convicted felon. He got the job he did have, he got fired from because they found out he lied on his application and he was a convicted felon. Typical um the man shit. When he gets done talking to Kenny about that, I want to say he eventually goes. He's riding. I don't know. I think he had an interview. Yeah, he had an interview. My bad. That's what it was. He fast forward to him having an interview. Basically, he don't get the job because he's a convicted felon, right? And while he was leaving the interview, he was riding down the street and he seen Ahmad. He goes to pick him. He's telling Ahmad get in the car. They having a little conversation. He takes his gloves off, tell Ahmad to put the gloves in the glove box. Ahmad opens up the glove box. It's a gun in there. Now, like I said, Lim's a convicted felon, so he really is not supposed to have a firearm. Well, him and Ahmad had a whole conversation without even speaking. And if you watch the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. Eventually, it cuts to them being at the hospital with Big Mama. And Big Mama slipped into a coma. And they're sitting there, Lim, Maxine, Terry, Miles, Kenny, and Bird are all sitting around Big Mama's bed while Faith and Ahmad and Kelly are sitting out outside the room. Um, and they're talking, and Maxine's like, "I'm about to get out of here because I want to be able to have enough rest to go do Sunday dinner." And Maxine thinking ain't nothing wrong with still having Sunday dinner, but Terry ain't having it. Well, don't nobody think nothing wrong about them keeping the tradition of doing a Sunday dinner alive. Just Terry, but Terry has a control problem, you know. But they argue about it, and because of their little argument, nobody does Sunday dinner. Bird tries to cook Sunday dinner, but as we all know, Miss Thing can't cook. Bird can't cook. So, um, since they argued, nobody showed up to Big Mama's house. Bird did her best. She tried to cook. She even tried to cook and give Uncle Pete some food. I was about to say Uncle Joe. Uncle Pete some food, and Uncle Pete he took it, but then he put it back real quick. He like, oh hell no, I don't want that. I'm good. And Bird like, damn, I tried. So after that happened, Ahmad did. He went to go back to go see his grandma by himself this time though, because he wanted to have a one-on-one with him. He had such a great bond with his grandmother. Did she don't physically need to say anything, and he can feel what she would want him to do, what she would need from him. And um, it's funny because little dude kept going to go see her by himself. So I'm assuming either Maxine or Kenny or even Lim, somebody was dropping him off to go see his grandma, or he was taking a bus on his own. It never really disclosed how he was getting up there to go see his grandma. But considering that little buddy was walking home by himself with his friends, I'm assuming that he just knows his way around the city and knew how to get to his grandma by himself. They were showing different clips in the movies to kind of show you the dynamics of each couple's relationship. Okay, so you got Maxine and Kenny who just had a baby, but Kenny is still loving on Maxine, still showing her that he loves her. 3 kids later, 11 years later, three kids and 11 years later, he's still loving on Maxine. He's still showing her that he desires her and wants her. Same thing with her. She's showing him the same thing. But then you got Miles and uh, Terry. Terry's unhappy with Miles. She didn't really love him. In my opinion, she didn't. I think that she just was afraid of being alone. And then she grew to eventually love Miles. But I don't think that she really wanted to be with him because when he was trying to show her affection, show her love, and be there for her, she wasn't having none of that. She was shutting him down. Every chance she got, she was shutting him down, shutting him down, shutting him down, shutting him down. Miles is he's wanting to be a musician, if you will. Like that's really what he wants. He's an attorney just like Terry is. And he really wants to just pursue music. That's what he wants to do with his life. He doesn't want to be an attorney anymore. He wants to pursue music. And Terry's not really supportive of his dream whatsoever. Which is why I say she didn't clearly she really didn't love him because she didn't support his dream of being a musician. She thought it was a silly hobby. She didn't think it made sense for him to give up his attorney being an attorney to go chase after a musician career. Whatever. Well, she refused to go to his show that night, but cousin Faith ended up going to the show, and they end up bonding or whatever. And this is where Babyface and Jodeci make their appearance. And the group is supposed to be Miles and some I forget what she said the name of the group was, but I'm like, how y'all going how y'all gonna make him the leader of the pack when he can't even sing? The real singers is Jodeci and Babyface. I was so confusion. But the next day, Bird goes home a little early, maybe. Um, and she brings home, I think it's either her friends or maybe they work at the salon. The gay dude does. He works at the salon, but I don't know about the light skinned girl. They go to her house, and this is where the iconic scene of because Miss Thing can't cook. That's where that iconic scene came from. Was that right there? Because she brought him over and she talked about how she cooked all this food, nobody showed up, all that jazz, and they hear a noise. They go look and see what's going on, and Lim comes out the bathroom, and they beating up Lim and whatever, and she like stop, 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 and he gets up and his towel drops, and child, that man said, ugh. And you might have seen the clip already. But it took me out when he made that face. But they argue about him being at home. And he tells her he had lost his job. And they go back and forth about that situation. And she's like, like, I can help you out. And he like, hell no. Don't want you to do nothing. Let me figure it out on my own. Typical testosterone behavior. Because, like, if she wants to help you get a job to help better your life, why is it such a big deal? Does she help you get a job? But I digress. Eventually, Bird takes matter into her own hand anyway, and she calls up Samuel, whatever his name is. She calls in on him for a favor, and previously he had came to see her at her shop, and he brought her a bracelet. Okay, so when she called him again, he was confused because he's like, "Girl, you not just came in here with that bracelet. You act like it was nothing, like you didn't want nothing to do with me. Now you want me? What's going on?" And she pretty much asked him to help Lim get a job. Bad idea. Bad idea. Lim comes home all happy because he didn't got a job and got hired on the spot. He ain't put two and two together at all. Like, this man didn't put two and two together at all. He's all happy because he got a job. And the whole time, it's his wife to help him get the job with the dude she used to mess with. That's why Bird was so wrong, because why would you have a dude you used to mess with get your man a job? Anyway, he all happy. He come home, it's rose petals, candles, and champagne. And Lim ain't putting two and two together at all. This fool is not paying attention to how would you why wouldn't you think about it? You came home after getting told you got a job on the spot, and your wife already got rose petals, candles, and champagne already laid out. And on top of that, how they know Uncle Pete wasn't gonna come downstairs doing their little shenanigans? Like, they doing all this in Big Mama house while she at the hospital and Uncle Pete upstairs. I digress. Let me reel it back in before I get a little a little extra. Anyway, next day, Lim at work, and who comes to visit him? Mr. Samuel. He comes and visit him, and he pretty much let the cat out the bag. Like, man, Kenny Simmons ain't refer you. I got you this job, fool. You know, me and Cola go way back. Who the fuck is Cola? I'm sorry. That's the funniest thing. But anyway, they exchange words. Lim gets mad, can't control his anger, and he does exactly what old boy wanted him to do. Put his hands on him. So he lost his job, right? Well, Lim mad, hotter than fish grease. So you know what he go do? He go pull up. He pull up to the salon. He slamming doors, breaking glass, breaking glass, shatter, breaking glass, breaking glass, shatter. Anyway, he pulls up on her. He snatches Bird up like, "Come in here." They talking, and she explained to him that she just did it for them. She's trying to help them get move, move along in life. And she like, I didn't have to promise him anything but to go to dinner with him. That's it. That's all. There was nothing else that was gonna happen between the two of us. I just told him I'll go to dinner. Lim like, I don't want to hear that bullshit. You should never called him, which is true. But they go arguing back and forth, and somebody called Terry, and Terry getting half the story, and Terry think that Lim done jumped on Bird because she ain't came out the bathroom, and they ain't seen her, so they don't know if he whatever. Instead of her getting the whole story, she called a thug and gang banging cousins to roll up on my boy Lim, and because she under the impression that he didn't jumped on her sister, which rightfully so. If I think that somebody did something to my sister, I can understand wanting to send somebody to go get the person I think, right? But however, I need to talk to my sister first before I just get to doing stuff. Because you didn't send your thugs after Lim now. They roll up on Lim like he supposed to be scared of them, and they get in the fight, and he beat all three of them. Well, he beat two of them up, and then the third one, he pulled a gun out on him and was like, "Don't you think about it, cause you'll be on this floor." Splatter, splat, and of course he's a convicted felon, so him having a firearm, well, it gets him arrested, right? Now Lim going to jail. Lim locked up, but Lim also had a decision. You could have kept fighting him, fist fighting him, and then left. Or you could have left when you realized there was going to be drama and avoided fighting in general. He chose not even a ladder. He went above the ladder. He climbed over the ladder. This fool that went so far, you pulling out guns. Well, anyway, Terry now has problems of her own at home. Okay, Terry didn't got Lim arrested, but while she doing all that extra jive turkey madness, her husband at home with Faith, cousin Faith. Okay, if you've seen this movie, you know where I'm getting ready to go. She at home, cousin Faith at home with Miles. Okay, and Terry comes home. Her and Ahmad come to her house, and they go upstairs where his music room is. And luckily for Miles, he decided to look over the thing before he decided to go look in the room where Uncle Miles and Cousin Faith was. Because if he would have went, he would have seen butt cheeks, and he would have been like, he would probably have been a little scarred. But instead, Terry sees it, and Terry kept her cool. And she mainly kept her cool because she had Ahmad with her. That's the real reason why she kept her cool. She kept her cool because she had Miles. She had Ahmad with her. But if she didn't have him with her, I think she would have flipped her wig. I think Faith and Miles would have been towed up in that room. But she ends up telling him, "Let's go back home. Let's go to your mom's house. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go." So I believe they all were supposed to be going to Maxine and Kenny's anniversary anyway. Their 11-year anniversary. I believe they're supposed to be going to the anniversary anyway. She just had Ahmad with her maybe so that they can set up the party or whatever. But they go back to the crib, and y'all, sometimes I think people just do stuff and don't think about the consequences of their actions. Because Miles and Faith show up to the anniversary party knowing what they just did. And it's like, why are you here? You know what you just did. And you trying to save face by thinking, oh, if I show up, it won't look suspicious. No, you should have kept your ass where you were at. That's what you and Faith should have did. You should have kept your ass where you was at, because not only did y'all just do what y'all did at this woman's house, but then y'all gotta come to my sister's house in my face, knowing y'all ain't dumb. Y'all know what y'all did, and y'all knew, and Miles definitely knew, because Miles was looking guilty than a mother. Every time he seen Terry, he was looking guilty than a mother. Okay, Terry go run off into the kitchen though after she seen Miles. She in the kitchen crying. Kenny goes in there, and Kenny hears her crying, and Kenny like, yo, sister-in-law, what's going on? And she get to telling him basically how she hates the fact, or envies the fact, that Maxine and Kenny are still married after all these years, because she really felt like that if she would have stayed with Kenny, her life would have turned out differently. She would have been different or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. She would have ran him off too. That's what she said. She does tell him, I probably would have ran you off too. And which is true. She would have definitely ran him off. Well, they in there talking or whatever. And while they having a little conversation, in comes Maxine, Miles, and they get to talking about how to help and how to manage to take care of their mama's bills. And while they having this conversation about Big Mama's bills or whatever, Maxine's like, maybe y'all pay it, we pay y'all back. Oh, Bird's in there too, by the way. And Maxine like, bitch, don't try that shit with me. Y'all not gonna run me my money back. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Bird already owe me money. And you think I'm about to fall for the okie dokie, y'all gonna pay me back? Like, get out of here. You're not gonna pay me back. And while they're talking, listen to what they're saying, all right? Your mama worked hard to keep that house in the family for everyone. Terry like, fuck the family, okay? Fuck the family. I let the family in my house, and the family fuck my fucking husband. You know, fuck y'all and all of that. And they like, wait a minute, what? She like, yeah, cousin Faith fucked my husband. You heard me right. She fucked my husband. And they like, Miles, man, come on. Miles like, wait a minute now, god damn it. You ain't got Miles like, you ain't gotta tell these people all the bit. Like, come on now, wait a minute, baby. Damn. Shit. Terry like, you wanna talk? Oh, now you wanna talk. Boy, Terry chased his ass with that motherfucking knife, and then she turned it on Faith. Boy, they was about to be some good at fishing, that motherfucker. But Kenny takes the knife from her, and at this point, she just hurt. And I feel her. I really do. Well, fast forward, Amaya goes back to see Big Mama one more time, and Big Mama eventually wakes up, and she was saving her energy to talk to Miles, you could tell. And Miles, I'm sorry, Ahmad. I don't know why Miles is on my mind right now, because he's so grimy. But anyway, you can tell Big Mama was saving her energy to talk to Ahmad. She wakes up from her coma, and she basically tells Ahmad, like, look, baby, Grandma is tired. My soul's tired. I just can't do this no more. But I love you. And in so many ways, she was just telling him, I'm about to give in. I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to leave this earth. And she was trying to tell him that she needed him to get the family back on track. Okay, she needed him to get the family back together, because she know they a mess. She know that they done fell apart, and everything. And while she's having a conversation, she starts having her complications, and then unfortunately Big Mama dies. After the funeral situation, Maxine goes to the house, and she noticed that Terry put a for sale sign up at Big Mama house. After they just sat there and said, don't sell the house. Like, Mama and Daddy worked forever to buy this house, own this house. Don't do it. She still did try to do it anyway. She still put a for sale sign up. Well, Maxine, Terry, and Bird, they used to their uncle never coming out the room. Now, when Maxine goes in the house, she sees Uncle Pete sitting at the dinner table. And at this point, we find out Uncle Pete has dementia, which is why he never comes out of his room. And Pete, you could tell Pete felt Big Mama, Mama Joe, whatever you want to call her, Josephine. He calls her Joe. You could tell he felt her energy in Maxine because he was calling her Joe. He was looking at her and feeling like that was his sister, and letting her know like, Daddy gone, so now you need to take care of me. And that's pretty much what Maxine realizes. Like, I am my mama now. I am her, and this is my job to take her place in her role and become Big Mama. This is what this is, and this is why I said Maxine really was the big sister. She really, really, truly was. And eventually, the girls go have a sister dinner, or not a sister lunch, I think. And Maxine lets Terry know, like, you're not gonna sell Mama house. And at this point, I had a lawyer write up a cease and desist letter, so you stop. This is not happening. And Terry like, all right, bitch, whatever, bye. Bird like, don't leave. She like, bye, bitches. y'all wanna gang up on Terry. And Maxine, like, she do let her know, like, we understand you upset about what happened with Miles and Faith, but you taking it out on all of us, like we did it and we didn't do it. It's not our fault your husband chose to sleep around with our cousin. Don't do that to me. But Terry leaves. She gets mad. Whatever. Terry big beep. First of all, Terry was big mad the whole movie. By the way, up until the end, Terry was big mad. Well, Bird goes to the bathroom. She throwing up or whatever. Same thing like she was at the salon. And of course Maxine, she ain't no dummy. She done had 3 kids. So she like, baby sister, I know you pregnant. I know. I know. And she tells Bird like, baby sister, 2 things. You was wrong for involving that man in your marital business. You had no business having him helping your husband get a job. And then you should tell me like, you just gotta let a man be a man. You just gotta let a man be a man. Sometimes you can't intervene in what they got going on. And to an extent that's true. To an extent that is true. Y'all remember I said Lim got arrested, he went to jail. Terry eventually, I guess you could say she felt guilty, so she called in a favor to get him out of jail. During that moment, Ahmad has a moment with his mom after his basketball game where he basically lets her know he's trying to figure out a way to get the family back together for Sunday dinner. They come up with a little plan, but he didn't let her in on every detail of the plan. He just let her know he needed to have a Sunday dinner to get the family together. Now Ahmad's little plan was to lie to everybody about some money. He lied. He told Miles, Faith, Bird, and actually, I think that was it. He didn't have to tell nobody else to lie because Lynn was in jail and Terry. That's who it was. It was Miles, Terry, Bird, and Faith that he told to lie about the money. Um, he didn't need to lie to his mom and daddy because they were already going to be part of the Sunday dinner anyway. And Lim, like I said, he was in jail, so he couldn't really lie to Lim. But anyway, um, honestly, he didn't have to tell Faith nothing. He could have left Faith ass where she was at. But I get it. It's family. And that's what his grandma would have wanted him to do. So they get the family dinner started or whatever. And once everybody starts showing up, Bird showed up first. Bird like, I'm going to kick your ass for lying to me. I'm going to kick your ass. So Terry shows up next. She like, oh, this little motherfucker lied. Got it. They in there having a sister moment. And then here comes Miles' ass. And Terry like, oh, hell no. Not this nigga. So she mad about him showing up, but he stayed. He go have a beer and watch TV with Kenny or whatever. Um, Shortly after that, Lim comes home and he and her talking to Ahmad and whatever the case may be. And Bird comes to get Ahmad and she sees her husband. Whatever, she's happy. Husband home. Yay! Faith show up. Bird like, what the fuck is she doing here? Faith like, bro, you lied to me. This ain't cool. Like, why would you lie to me? And she about to leave. He like, come on now, don't leave. You know what I'm saying? Come on, like, come on. So he did a good job. He did exactly what his grandma wanted. He got everybody back in the house, like she asked, without her asking. Um, so they're sitting there having dinner, right? And um, Kenny asks Lim how did he get out. He explained. Lim tells him he don't know how, but he just knows somebody pulled some strings and they got him out. And instead of Terry's ass letting that ride, she just had to say something. She just had to let it be known she the one who got him out. And she, she does admit she felt guilty. And instead of Lim just saying thank you and leaving alone, his ass just had to say something next. She get to talk about somehow. She pulled the strings to get him out. Lim mad at her. So he like, you should have felt guilty. And she like, motherfucker, what are you talking about? The least you can say is thank you for me getting you out. Like, you put yourself in that position anyway because you had that gun. Which is true. He really did. But they get to arguing and whatever. And in before I get to Miles, actually, Terry says to Lim, you need to worry about your pregnant ass wife. And Bird, like, you need to worry about why your husband fucking her and da da da. So they get to arguing. Mal's like, all right, I've had enough of this. I'm getting out of here. Well, Miles ends up spilling the tea about the money that Ahmad claimed that he had. Now, Ahmad and his little sister got sent to the kitchen to go get some more peas. Now, or vegetables or whatever. Now, what throws me off is earlier I told y'all Big Mama told him don't put nothing on the stove, right? My concern is why the hell was the goddamn burner on anyway, and y'all in there having dinner? Why did y'all leave the burner on? Or did y'all leave the burner on? Or did Ahmad turn it back on? That's what I was trying to figure out. They never made it clear if he turned the burner on or if it was already on. But he throws the towel on the stove because they call him back into the dining room because they like, well, what money are you talking about? And he comes in there. They question him about the money, and he tells them, I lied. There was no money, but this was the only way I knew I can get everybody at the house. This is the only way I knew. Everybody already knew about the myth of Big Mama having money here, and this is the only way I know it's going to be to get everybody here. They arguing back and forth with Ahmad. Ahmad like, yo, this is y'all fucking fault. This is not my fault. This is y'all fault. Y'all all get to arguing and bickering and acting like y'all not a family. And look what happened. Y'all tore the family apart. Don't blame me. I'm just a kid. Like, don't blame me. Why they arguing or why he's in there spilling his little heart out, they smell smoke. They smell burning. They smell fire. They go in the kitchen. Whole kitchen on fire, y'all. Whole kitchen on fire. And now they like, oh my God. Terry, the house. They end up extinguishing the fire and putting it out. Uncle Pete, who don't come out his room, Maxine was trying to surprise everybody with Uncle Pete and was trying to get him had him come out. Well, Uncle Pete had a TV in his hand, and when he came through the door, he spooked everybody. And this fool Kenny then sprayed him with the fire extinguisher and made him drop the TV. The TV breaks, and when it breaks, you see a wad of money, like a stack of cash, a bamboozled amount of money. It was so much money in that damn TV, man. It was so much money in that TV. Well, they all get to, clean Uncle Pete up and everything, and then they start seeing the money flying. And they like, oh snap, it is mad money in here. Like, this was no myth. Big Mama really did have some money stashed away. So in a way, Ahmad really didn't lie. He just didn't know that the money was a real thing. He just, whatever. So it really wasn't a lie. It was really money in there. And in the end, the movie ends with them tending to the garden, which is Big Mama's garden. It's in the backyard. Which is funny because Ahmad had told her that when she got better, he'd help her, resoil the land and get the plants ready. Well, unfortunately, she passed, but it still got done. But this time, the sisters got it done. Terry, Maxine, and Bird. They were in there getting it done. Now, in the end, all of the family stuck together. Terry did divorce Miles. However, every Sunday, Miles still came around for Sunday dinner, and Cousin Faith ended up staying. They made her feel like family. That's how the movie ends. Now, I'm gonna say this. Terry was the villain and the victim at the same time. And it's very rare for a person to be a villain and a victim at the same time. Terry was the villain because she didn't know how to separate her personal issues from her she didn't know how to settle her personal issues. She should have settled that issue with her sister and moved on from it. She should have just settled it with her sister and moved on from it. But instead she held on to it and she harped over it and she held a grudge over it for years. And I get it. Your sister was foul for that because Maxine was foul for that. But at the same time, you really gonna be mad at your sister over a man that you know really didn't want you in the first place? You knew he didn't want you in the first place. Get over it. Now, she's also the villain because she wouldn't support her husband in his dream and his career and his path that he wanted. That's some villainistic shit. You can't get mad at him because he wants to try a different avenue and do a different career. Y'all doing well. Y'all got money. It wasn't like y'all was broke. He still could have been an attorney and chased his music career until it took off. She could have just supported him that way. Now, she's the victim because Kenny knew he didn't want to be with Terry and he should have never even asked her out. He should have never been with her. He should have never done none of that at all. She's also the victim because she is the financially suited sister. So she was looked at as the one who needed to pay for every damn thing. And that's not fair. She shouldn't have had to be looked at as the one with the cash cow, the money that, she shouldn't have had to be looked that way. Now, Bird was trying to make a way for herself, and she got the support from her sister to do it, the financial support. But, because Terry had so many unhappy life moments and so many demons of her own she was battling, I think that's why she had such a hard time forgiving people and moving on up until the end. She was just so hurt by what happened to what really the spark came from the Kenny and Maxine situation. That's what sparked her issues, especially with men. But like I said, she was a villain and a victim at the same time. Maxine, the biggest thing was you were wrong for messing around with your sister's man. That was wrong. Hands down wrong. But she hands down is a big sister. She knows how to support and love her family, and she got it honest. What Big Mama said that they daddy used to say about her being the rock and the strong one in the family, and that was true because she really was. She really was. Like I said, she gave me big sister vibes for sure. And granted, she is a big sister because she's Bird's big sister, but she also gave me big sister vibes to her own big sister, you know. And she, like I said, she was wrong for messing with Kenny, but get over it. You know Kenny didn't want you anyway. Move around. Now, Bird seemed like she was a little hot in the ass. Like she was a little young thought. You know what I'm saying? She was a little, that's what they used to say back in the day, hot in the ass. And that's what Bird was. She was too busy gallivanting these streets. And granted, she still managed to have a career, which was her salon. She managed to get a business and a career off the ground for sure. But she definitely was a little thought pocket, which is what landed her in that situation with Samuel. Anyway, only thing that Bird did in the movie that irritated me was the situation with Lim. But also, Lim irritated me because you got mad at your wife for wanting to see you do better. You sitting here crying in her face about how you can't get a job because you're a felon, and the only motherfucker that she knew that can help you get a job, yes, just so happened to be a man that she used to mess with, but you allowing a man that she don't even want to control your emotions was out of pocket. You let that man control your emotions. You let him push you into a position that you didn't even want to be in. All because he told you he helped you get a job. So what? Get over it. That job he helped you get can help you get another one. And then on top of that, you end up going back to the damn job anyway. When you got out of jail, they gave you your job back. So you wasted all that time putting your hands on that man for what? What no reason. You still went back to the same place that he originally helped you get a job at. Oh. Now, with Kenny. Kenny know he wrong. Like I said earlier, Kenny should have just never messed with Terry. You know you didn't want that girl. Should never mess with her. Miles. That's what I need to talk about next. Miles should have never married Terry. They shouldn't have been married. You can tell from the beginning that their marriage wasn't gonna last. And two, instead of you cheating on your wife with her cousin, why didn't you just get a divorce? You knew you were unhappy. You sat there and told yourself we were unhappy for years. So why would you stay? Get a divorce. So why don't you care for me like I care? The point is, he should have left. When he seen that were not, they weren't meshing, and he wasn't, and he was giving 25% and she was giving 10, and they couldn't manage to get 50-50, should have just left. Because he was 100% wrong, hands down. You could have just left. Not sleep with my cousin. You slept with my cousin? I already lost my first man to my sister. Then I got divorced to my second man for whatever reason. They never disclosed why. And then I got you. I got to divorce you because you done slept with my cousin. Come on, man. He should have just divorced her a long time ago. Should have ended it on an unawkward turn. Cousin Faith. Cousin Faith is a lost soul. She has no regard, no respect, and no class whatsoever. Okay? I don't care about the end of the movie, her turning her life around. During the time that we seen Cousin Faith on film, Cousin Faith, it was a lost soul with no respect and no class. Point blank in a period. I think that might have been it as far as what I needed to say. Um, I don't know. I noticed this episode probably an hour and some change, but honestly, that was a good movie. It always has been. Uh, I just don't know what else to say about it, man. Besides, it's a good movie, and honestly, you can say what you want, but all of them had some type of villain in them, except for Mama Joe and Uncle Pete and Kelly. Because Ahmad wasn't a villain because he sat there lied to everybody about some money. But I get it. It was for a good reason. But yeah, hands down, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Soul Food's a good movie, especially for the community. They they really showed us how a black family can really be. You know, not every black family's like this, but they really showed us how black families can be. And I don't know, man. I really hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Like I said, drop a turkey in the comments for Thanksgiving. Drop a grandma and a dove and your favorite color heart in the comments for any lost grandmas that you got out here. Once again, it's been your girl, the real Tay Nicole, back with another episode for y'all. Back with another banger for y'all. Y'all stay peace. Happy Thanksgiving from my family to y'all's. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Peace out.